But tell the kids is they don't use bare metal these days. They're scared of it.
Yeah.
They look at something like, man, how can I containerize that?
Yeah.
I get it. Containers are good, but you end up with like weird results. Right. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be running my desktop in a container. I'm not going to be running a Linux in a container. I'm not going to be in a VM. That's just me, though. Bare metal for life.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you count all the stuff I've hosted in the cloud. None of that's on bare metal.
Hi, Mir. Hi.
Asterix.
Hi, Darren.
Hey, everyone. What is going on? We find ourselves gathered around on a Wednesday. We might as well do a show. Huh?
Yeah, Vin, we were showing, we had bare metal numbers, not virtual.
Well, you think a VM would be a cleaner instance. Mm-hmm. That's what we're trying to, one of the things we're going to be talking about on the show today is resource usage between Linux desktop managers.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I'm going to tell people just to get right off my lawn, because I still think it's ludicrous that a desktop manager would need an entire gigabyte of RAM just to get up to display.
Yeah.
What are we
story.
doing?
Yeah. Another reason I usually warn Window Maker or Flexbox or any of the X Window managers. And XFCE too.
Well, I mean, I know, again, RAM's cheap, and it saved me from that. But
yeah,
like, we were like loading KDE. Jeez, what were we like? It's probably like 1.3, 1.7, somewhere in there, on 256 megs of RAM.
Yeah.
Megabytes.
Yeah.
Had room to spare.
Sure did.
Play a game of Quake. All right. Let me do the quote. Is live. As always, we are testing in production on Wednesdays, which is always kind of fun. So prepare yourself for anything going crazy. Because I've been playing with real-time IRQ priorities, rearranging them.
Oh, Joey.
And I get to do things like, who gets to win this race? Sound or the fiber card? Because both are equally important. All right. If you tuned into General Discord, Disrays in our Discord, we've had a very lively argument about the virtues of AV1 encoding and the Gamer Nexus.
Yeah.
Steve.
Yeah, I still have to watch the video. I put it in my watch list.
I skipped around it because I knew what the benchmarks were going to be roughly. And
yeah.
I mean, it's technically a card. I don't think anybody is remotely interested. We're talking about the Airbus 380, which aptly named because that card seems to have as many problems as the A380. No one has looked at that at any point because this is like the very basic entry level. We're talking sub $200 card, but it's the first discrete card that we're going to get our hands on from Intel. And it is getting whooped by like 1030s and what is the AMD 6400?
RX 6400.
Yeah. The laptop
it did get whooped because I haven't looked at the stats yet to see. Yeah. Okay.
And the only way you can make it playable in a lot of scenarios, and I kind of skipped around in Steve's video. It was a good video, but you had to play around with resizable bar. So you're going to have a modern system with access to a resizable bar.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with you, Mir, 100%. This is the Y card. It's something to put in a box and ship for desktop productivity.
Yeah.
But that begs, like, why not just use the iGPU at that point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a thing.
Yeah, the only thing about the 1630 is it's got, if you want some vintage NVINC, it's got it. Because
Oh,
I think
yeah,
the
older.
NV encoder for the 1630s NV Inc. It's the gen from the 900 series. Strangely enough,
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
it's old. I mean, it's better than nothing. But
Hi, Steve husband.
hello, Steve. The one thing we kept on going over and over and over and over is AV1, because we can't play with it yet. And I mean, you can play with AV1. The problem with AV1, AV1 is going to replace VP9 and more so H.265, but MPEG LA is already trying to push through some legislation, like antitrust legislation in the EU against AV1.
I was reading that.
We don't.
Yeah.
That could harm consumers, and by that I mean we might lose money.
Yeah, they might lose money, and that's yeah.
We've made an entire business model about our patent encumbered codecs, and AV1. They get a very weak argument. I'm just going to say that, but the tech behind AV1 is great. That's what YouTube has been doing. AV1 encoding, prefering over. I mean, VP9 is good, but AV1's better. Much closer to 265, but encoding that through software is painfully slow. Like, it's not doable. And plus, you're going to need services like Twitch and YouTube to flip that switch. So, we'll see. Yeah, and also it's a good time to go out and buy a video card right now, strangely enough.
Absolutely.
The Best Buy knocked what was like $400 off the 3090, maybe? I don't know. One of the two.
Yeah.
I posted it on Twitter, and I remember when that card, like what, 4 months ago, was going for like $3,000, and people were paying it.
Yeah.
A good time to buy a GPU, unless you're that person. I was like, no, I gotta wait and see what Intel's coming out with. And you're like, hey man, what GPU are you running? They're like, a 970. I'm like, get out of here. You're just the person who perpetually waits. We all know that person. They're always like, no, I'm waiting. Like, what about the new AMD AM4? Come on. I just need to wait and see what Intel's like. What are you running? Core 2 Duo. Get out of here. So we do have a little bit to talk about. We're going to take you to like a legitimately cool project about turning a Raspberry Pi into a vintage Mac to get your retro gaming on, plus other stuff. But let's face it, we're all going to play games on it. Again, desktop resource usage. Firefox Snap is back for round 3, thanks to Arthur, and keeping us abreast of that.
Yes, absolutely.
And of course, Windows and Pluto and Lenovo's secured nonsense that, thanks Windows, I'm going to talk about that in depth. Who's been looking at space pictures? Anybody?
We all have. And
Yeah?
Stephen has been watching the conferences, of course, and doing everything, all the details. They're beautiful.
People have been like very excited. I mean, rightfully so. It's pretty neat looking at some of that, especially when you realize what the resolution it can pull. And it looks a little bit better than the Hubble, I dare say, right?
You dare say, yes.
I mean,
Pretty impressive.
That's
It's very
30-year-old when we have, of course, the Hubble was, even when it was put up, kind of antiquated. I forget which alphabet agency. I had to synopsis. I thought it was just an urban legend that it was either the NSA or the CIA from the North American government. They came to NASA and they're like, yo, you know the Hubble thing? Yeah, we got like 2 or 3 more of those that are way better than the one you guys put up to look at stars. You want them? But this has been the internet's reaction.
Yeah.
Which is fine with me.
That's so cute.
We get some pretty wallpaper pictures. All right. We need to get underway, everyone. Jill, you want to grab something to drink or anything?
Yeah. Let me go do that.
You can do that. And I will do the same when you come back. they're pretty pictures. They are. But here's the thing. Because they had the press announcement, right? I think they did it at the White House. Or something like that. And it was kind of a pumped up announcement. Like, oh, okay, well, let's see what are they going to announce? And it was delayed for like an hour and a half. And of course, the fun part of my brain was like, yes, aliens, finally. Wouldn't that be dope? If they cut it on, and somebody's out there like, yeah, what's up? That'd be very entertaining. But it did not happen. But we still get some pretty pictures out of it. And I'm down with that. It's never aliens, is it? But we did get to see some gravity lens distortion. That was kind of neat. I'm like, yeah, right? And I've been working on my mini documentary for RME. I did learn something. I've always wondered what RME stood for. I've never looked it up until I was working on this video, but I looked it up. No one knows. No one knows. Like, okay, that's the thing. RME makes audio hardware. And one of the cool things about this is like digging back through their history is, okay, RME had drivers for BOS. Think about that. We're talking like 1999, 2000. But in 2000, RME got support for their Digiface under Linux. And later that year in 2000, we're talking in 2000, 22 years ago, they worked with Red Hat and they streamed and monitored, basically mixed a remote orchestra from Los Angeles to, I think it was Toronto, just as a tech demonstration, and it worked. Yes, Steve, but you know that just means we're just all alone, man. Fermi paradox for life, baby. What is the... I forget what it's called. The arc of a civilization becoming a spacefaring race, but they got to make it over the hump without nuking civilization to get to there. Just nobody can do that. Kind of the trajectory humanity likes to flirt with. But it does seem like Earthlings, we get kneecapped more by natural disasters destroying civilization than anything else, historically. Alright, and what else? Oh, Unity merged. Yeah, that Unity, not the desktop. Unity, the game engine, they've merged with Iron Source, the ones known for like their ad network and installers that distributed spam, malware, and the adware bundles in Windows. Those guys. Oh, I don't think that's necessarily a great thing. But who knows? If you know anything about Unity, the large chunk of Unity profits come from their ads. They have their own ad network. Going to be interesting. I was reading like the positives and negatives on Hacker News about that from some mobile game developers, and like, yeah, it might work out to be a little bit better and it might be okay. And then you had the other side of like, this company is just devious. Like, with some of the stuff they've done for ad injection and deliverables and hijacking Chrome URLs and stuff like that, all in the interest of serving people ads. Another thing I saw, I posted this on Twitter a while back. We talked about it last year. You might remember on Linux Gamecast Weekly, it was announced, it was a game that looked frighteningly similar to Hollow Knight, to where we're like, you guys and girls are going to get sued by Team Cherry if you keep making this. And of course, you did some research later on. You find out like half of the development team is from Team Cherry. And they got a new announcement trailer. 1 year, the Kickstarter development, which is interesting. I'm looking forward to it, again, because, it's got half the team from Team Cherry behind it, working on it. It's very obvious by the art style. But I've always wanted to play like a 2D fanfic Hellsing platformer. And I think it's got everything I need in there. And you know what? I don't know what's going to come first. I need more Hollow Knight, or I need more of that.
Yes. Ben loves Hollow Knight.
Hollow Knight's just...
It was. I enjoyed. I played through the first few maps, but I never continued it. But it looks like a lot of fun.
It's a different game than, because I beat the Hollow Knight, the other ending, and I beat Radiance. And this was years ago, like 3 years ago. And I watched JP, JP, Twitch streamer. He did his first playthrough of it. It's a whole different game now. Like what they've added to it. Like areas I'd never seen, because in the original playthrough, like the B area didn't even have a boss at the time. That was kind of strange. I'd like to go back to it. I thought about it. I just do not have the time. I cannot lose another 58 hours to a video game. No, not going to happen. It will happen, but I'm not going to load the gun myself. It'll be accidental. I won't. Spider-Man's another thing I'm waiting on, but that's next month. I thought that was this month. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, let me grab something to drink, Jill, and we'll get
in
and out. We don't have any extra ones yet.
Yay!
Yay! We'll find out. When I hit record, that's when it gets real.
Oh, yeah, true. Hey, Arthur, look! I brought this back. It's been since last summer. Oh, it's been a long time since I've used this one. It's it's not a mug. It's a water bottle, really. But a very cute one, and I love it. Yeah, because it. What's nice is a whole bottle of water fits in here. You wouldn't expect it to, because it looks smaller than I thought, the volume contained. But it's pretty cool. Pretty good for getting at the Dollar Tree. It was $1. Yeah, I like this mug. It's so cute. Yeah, I saw that and fell in love with it. I'm like, only $1? Okay. I'm not great at... Oh, you're not great at chess. That's nice. Welcome and greetings. Yeah. Greetings from the penguins of Linux Gamecast. Yeah, Scoots, check it. Yeah, we haven't had that in a long time. Scott showed. Oh boy. Oh, that's a good question. Everything is good on Linux now. Whether you're running NVIDIA or AMD. AMD just works out of the box. With NVIDIA, you have to install drivers. Yeah, just anything that's good on Windows works for Linux. Yeah, everything now. Yeah, like for instance, I'm building a system right now with a Ryzen 9 and an RX 6900. and 64 gigs of RAM. And that's a sweet Linux box. Linux runs on all the things now, so that is an awesome thing.
What are we on about, Joe Brian?
Oh, I'm not great at chess was asking what's good gaming hardware these days for Linux. And I told him everything. Linux runs on all the things. Oh, yeah, it'll run on an R9. I have an older R9.
Yeah, I mean, if you got some like retro hardware.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of Linux. It runs on everything, even older hardware. And I have over 600 computers in my vintage computer collection, and Linux runs on most of them. 90% of them, I'd say. Over 90.
Me personally, I don't consider a PC vintage unless it comes with the operating system it's shipped with, but okay.
Yeah. Yeah, literally. Yeah, I have a huge, it's called my Jill's Hardware Museum. And in fact, I used to have several hundred computers behind me, but I've been cleaning out my room because I'm getting ready for remodeling and doing lots of things. But right behind me, I have about 100. I've got lots of vintage Macs behind this monitor. And I've got a Commodore back there. Yeah, and of course, many PCs. Oh, I've got a IBM XT on this desk as well. Yeah, the 590 is a good card. I still have 580s in a couple of my machines, including the one under that unicorn back there. And I've got a 580 in the machine right next to me. And actually, I've got an RX 580 right now in the broadcasting rig I'm broadcasting to you on Linux on. Yeah, so any AMD card is great. It just works out of the box. No drivers necessary. Just
drivers are built into the kernel.
Built into the kernel and Mesa.
All right, everyone. Let's that's good. All right, you overpriced sound card. Don't mess me up.
Oh, yeah.
And where are we at? Up, and there it is. Okay. Done and done. Bounce that over. We hit record. Then we hit record twice. And maybe we get one recording. That's good. Hey everyone, welcome back to Linux Weekly, daily Wednesdays, where we sit back, relax,
hello.
take that midweek break, talk about some of the fun things that we found going on in the world of Linux and open source, closed source, medium source, any kind of source you want to throw in our way. We'll just give it a big hug. I'm Ben. That's Joe Brian. And that's a thunderstorm because it's becoming a tradition. It's becoming a tradition. Like, oh, right, we're about to start a show. Let's make it a little more dodgy. Aha, you can have fun. I was kind of worried. You might have saw a thing floating around last week on the internet about a lot of the cyber power PSUs, APCs were going pop, blowing up, catching on fire. Yeah, doing the bad things. They had some pretty unreliable surface glue on them that had a bad habit of when it gets old, it oxidizes and did this nice little thing of becoming conductive, which is bad.
Yeah.
And turns out I had one CyberPower PSU, AP, whatever you want to call it, battery backup. We need a better word because you just want to call them APCs or UPSs.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. UPS.
What can Brown do for you? No, the other UPS. And I pulled it out, took it apart, and I didn't see anything in there that gave me any worry, but still, I was like, be still, my little heart.
That is nerve-wracking. Yeah.
Right? And that thing is like a it's big honking, but it's only good for like maybe 2 or 3 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just like the emergency, like, okay, shut things down really quick. It's not like the two big chonguses I have in
Yeah.
here.
Not like our APCs.
No.
That'll go 10, 15 minutes.
Easily. Now, Jill is about to tell you, Jill's has been kind of like vibrating in place because Scale's coming up.
Yes. So yes, the Southern California Linux Expo is in just a few weeks, July 28th to the 31st just in a couple weeks. It's at the LAX Hilton, and you can find me at the Linux Chicks LA booth, number 602, or the Destination Linux booth, number 901. And actually, for all our LWDW viewers attending Scale, you can use the promo code CHIX on the first page of registration for 50% off your Scale admission. So yeah, that goes out to all our viewers. So please come to Scale and come visit me at my booze and all the things.
You think you're going to be able to survive it, man?
Oh my gosh, I know I'm going to sleep for a couple days after. But yeah, it's going to be so exciting. I'm really looking forward to Scale because, it had been postponed from March because of the pandemic. So now we're doing it in the summer, but I'm just happy we're having one this year.
I think it's going to feel good no matter what, because we were talking about this in the pre-show. They're downsizing a little bit, and that's going to be better than it's going to be more gooder than, that's what I meant to say.
More gooder.
Than having it like spread out over a big area, because this is going to be the first year of people coming back in 2 years. So see how the vendors and everything, everyone's close. You don't have to walk all the way over there or reorganize anything. And Scale is always a fun time if you can make it.
Oh, absolutely. I am going to miss that we're not going to be doing our Saturday night live with Linux Gamecast because Jordan's not here. And but maybe we'll get him coming down from Canada next year.
Jill's going to miss it. I'm not going to miss it.
Yeah, you're not. It's more work for Ben.
Oh man, it's like RNG. Like, please, could we just have a halfway decent connection? Like, oh, of course, the Bluetooth has. Finally.
Yeah,
but it's always a good time. It's definitely doing. Yeah. I've been playing around, doing the thing I do, sitting back, like pay no attention to me. I'm just over here trying to write some accurate technical documentation for hardware on Linux and stuff like that, just to make sure that when somebody gets something, that they look at it and they're able to follow through and get it up and working without any guesswork, because that's one thing that just makes me grumpy. And I understand people like to have chats back and forwards, but in forums, you're trying to find the technical from something maybe a year, 2 years ago, and somebody's like, well, I don't have that particular thing, but I'm like, oh, then why are you replying? But doing a lot of legwork, something I tested out on Saturday. Got to start with it is, I was joking around about a really overpriced sound card. It's not really a sound card. This is a audio interface. This is the Army AIO Pro 30 channel 192. It's a reference audio card is what RME says. It's Army. And they're like, yeah, you can see how much lesser your audio device is compared to ours. These things are wicked expensive, but this is some of the top of the line that RME makes. This is a mastering interface of a card that you would want to have in a system. And I'm going to tell an interesting story about it because, but I'm going to be doing that in the video, about some history with RME, about how they've been supporting Linux since 2000. And even around then, this is what got a good laugh out of me, Jill. Not only Linux, Jill, I was like, when was Linux support? BOS. They had a driver for BOS.
That's cool.
What?
That's wonderful.
Right? Interesting history with helping out with things outside of the Windows Mac universe with RME. But turns out they released this and it didn't work with Linux. And it irritated the right guy is what happened. And RME's always been good about sharing technical documentation to get things up and running. And we're using it right now. This is hopefully going to replace my RME 9632, which came out in 2003.
Wow.
So,
wow.
and it's still made today. if you want to watch the video on that. That's another thing about RME is like you can get updated drivers and support for the hardware made in 2003, and it's still being used. So this is the upgrade version of that. I'm going to be happy to share that with everyone later on in the upcoming weeks. But
Cool.
we need to talk about Windows and Lenovo because a thing happened that, well, the internet wasn't very happy about, and rightfully so, mind you.
Yeah.
This is from the Register. Choosing a non-Windows OS on Lenovo's secured core PC is trickier than it should be. Now, initially, I think there was quite a bit of panic because a gentleman tried to install Linux on his new Lenovo laptop and just couldn't get it to run because the latest Pluton-equipped laptop from Lenovo, it really loves Windows. Thanks to that secured core, you have to go into the BIOS and enable Microsoft's third-party UEFI certificate. Now, Lenovo, of course, came out and said, they should have it enabled on all of the Linux preloaded systems, but since this was a Windows preload, they didn't see the need to do it, to which, again, the internet's like, really? Come on. This is an extra step, but at least the option is there. But I also want to remind everybody, when you think about UEFI, Secure Boot, why is that there? It's because Microsoft mandated it back in 2012. This is a Microsoft problem. Now, take the good with the bad, mind you. Good with the bad, because, that Lenovo, you can still boot Linux on it, and that's not going to be a big deal. But I don't know. You can't really throw Lenovo under the bus. I mean, they have to comply with the rules. So, what do you think? I understand the initial knee jerk of like, okay, it's got Windows on it. Let's install Linux. Can't. And having to dig through it.
Yeah, it's a little hard. Actually, this does remind me of the early years of Secure Boot when we were dealing with all that and having trouble booting Linux on the Secure Boot machines. But the Linux kernel fixed that. So that has been no problem. And Lenovo has always been a great partner to the Linux community and will hopefully, I think they should be able to fix this soon or work something out with Microsoft on this issue for sure. Especially since, their awesome ThinkPads, which I have many of, are, the Swiss Army knife for us Linux users, whether Windows is installed or not. It's one of the most loved laptops by the Linux community are the ThinkPads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's, I get the idea of the Pluton equipped security bits. I understand the principles behind it, but at the end of the day, you're still going to end up with Windows?
Yeah.
Maybe not think your clever plan all the way through there. But, Lenovo's been in some trouble in the past, too, when they were doing that, key thing. I forget exactly how it went. Some dodgy stuff. Yeah, just type in that key thing, dodgy Lenovo. You'll probably find it on Google.
Yeah.
It was doing some weird redirect. But, yeah, I mean, ever since something that was initially an IBM brand, and now Lenovo's been spun off, and for all into their higher price stuff, mid-range stuff has always been really good quality. And they do make some low-end stuff that I probably wouldn't mess around with. So, yeah, don't panic. But, at least Lenovo came back and they're like, you know what? Just buy the preloaded Linux one. That's an option. That's an option that didn't exist not so long ago.
Yeah.
Now, our ongoing saga, I want to thank Arthur, and he dropped this into our show notes. We've been unintentionally covering this, but you know what? I like when a story has a happy ending, Joe.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So this is part 3 of improving the Firefox snap speed on Ubuntu. And the team has actually made significant strides this round. They have now a 50% reduction in start time after a fresh install of Firefox. Woohoo! So there are 2 really huge significant changes. And one is that Firefox now only loads one locale at a time or one language pack based on the system settings instead of loading all the language packs to make loading, that makes loading a lot slower of the browser. And the Firefox Snap also is now using the LZO compression, which has helped tremendously. And not only that, the Firefox Snap actually depends on both the GNOME 2004 and GTK common theme snaps, which were still being delivered compressed using the XZ algorithm. And so when they switched those files compression, those modules compression to LZO, it also helped speed up Firefox starting. So that was really huge. And this change honestly doesn't just affect Firefox, but also affects the start times of all the snaps that depend on the GNOME and GTK snaps, including Chromium and Thunderbird. So in their research of trying to make Firefox load quicker, it has the result of helping load all their snaps quicker that depend on those libraries.
It is kind of neat. I mean, we're talking about like a 50% reduction across the board with this. And
yeah,
you know what? To play the devil's advocate, like a lot of people, like, why weren't we doing this all along? But it's good that they're doing it now.
Yes.
Now, this is something that you can go out and test because the latest Firefox in the Snap Store, if that's your thing, you use the snaps and you're down with it, go try it out. And it's that cold first boot that has really been an issue with snaps.
Mm-hmm.
With just like waiting and clicking. It was the first time I knowingly encountered a snap on a GNOME system monitor, and I forget which version of Ubuntu, someone will point it out in a minute, shipped as a snap, and I clicked on it. And you know what? I thought it was broken. I had opened up top, because you know what you do. Like,
yeah.
let's get a terminal open. Let's see, are you running? Are you doing? And then it popped up, and I backtracked. I'm like, why? So, yeah, and you brought up the LZO decompression and experimenting with multi-threaded CPU decompression, I think, in a world where good luck trying to find something with like less than 8 cores, or not 8 cores, at least 8 threads these days. And they're cheap, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Cheap. And, Firefox, they've been improving Firefox for multi-core booting for a long time. And now this should help take advantage of that with the snaps. That'll be really cool. And, there's so much good stuff that Ubuntu now is doing. I'm so happy they're really focusing on desktop right now with the Firefox Snap. So that's exciting.
Here's what I think is I can get behind this if they're going to stick with it. If they're eventually going to mold it into a desktop platform to distribute applications. But the same work is being done in Flatpak, and of course duplication. We could always have that argument, but if they're going to address these things, they're trying, But we're all going, remember Mir?
Yeah. And it was it was Mir and Wayland we were talking about together.
Hopefully they stick with it. This is, I would go try the Firefox. If you have Snap installed and you do have Snap applications, definitely do yourself a service and grab Firefox 101 and try this out. But, okay. Now, I also have to realize, I got to think about it because we're anomalies, Jill. We're weirdos.
We definitely are.
In more ways than one, though. A lot of it, I think, to do is, here's something, when we got to get outside of our little computer bubble, which a lot of us are just not capable of doing. I got friends, doctors, lawyers, mechanics, whatnot. Having a desktop PC in your house, something that you cut on and power off, not common at all these days. Not at all. This is not the 90s when every family had because, laptops were crazy. But just about everybody in it has a laptop that never gets cut off. It's just always running. So I think a lot of people are seeing this through a different lens because, once Firefox is open, once the Snap application is open, I don't close it. It just stays up and running.
Yeah, I know. It's and then it slows down. Yes. So, but what's awesome is they're actually asking the community to share your benchmarks from your machines with them. And you can use the GNOME extension application startup time measure and note the times for the following three scenarios. Startup time after a completely fresh install of Firefox, startup time launching Firefox after a system reboot, startup time on subsequent Firefox launches. And then, report them by submitting your timings on the known issues with Firefox Snap discourse topic with details of the release you're running and the hardware specs on your machine. So it's really easy to contribute to this one.
It is.
No hard bug reporting here, just easy peasy.
And, thanks to all the brave soldiers out there testing snaps, and the rest of us are just going to keep using Firefox as a Debian package or an RPM or whatever, just regular binary until things change. But I love to see the progress. We need to talk about something that everyone's going to agree on.
Okay, yeah, this is going to be neat. Interesting topic.
No one's going to have any problems with anything. Desktop environment resource usage comparison. Oh, all of this is going to be in our show notes. Don't worry. For Madden, some of them use more RAM, some less. Today, in a rather simplified benchmark, I will check some popular desktop environments for the RAM usage. I recently came to see more or less old comparisons with various desktop environments and RAM usage. So this is what we're looking at. Mm-hmm. Who's on the field? Who do we have? No, this is access. This is all going to be on FreeBSD in a VM. Oh, all right. The contenders, XFCE, which, okay, so this is basically the pinnacle of desktop management, and followed by a couple of little side projects, like I'm just playing around. Mate, we have KDE Plasma, OpenBox, and GNOME. OpenBox does not belong on that list.
Yeah.
OpenBox is a window manager.
Yeah. Boots fast.
Agreed.
Yeah.
100%. What do we have? Our test environments, 1 CPU, 8 gigajoules of RAM, 128 megs of GPU memory, and a 30 gig disk. Man, there was a time in my life I would have killed for a computer like that. Much less a VM, and that's a dinky little VM these days.
Yeah. But hey. It sure is.
So, you know what? GNOME was added. The original version of this didn't have GNOME. Where everyone went like, hey, where's GNOME at? But just kind of a list of what's installed, with the terminal, Thunar, mousepad for XFCE, Mate terminal, Kaja, Pluma for Mate, console, Dolphin, and Kate. Kate, hadn't seen Kate in a long time. OpenBox, Kaja, Gini, GNOME terminal, Nautilus, and Get It. I got Get It installed and everything, man. That's old man Vin's Vim. Yep. There's the XINET RC RAM usage. So, Jill, who won?
So who won? Well, the lowest memory, of course, is the FreeBSD text console. So, no, but who won was OpenBox. Well,
think about this, though, Jill.
But who's slowest was KDE Plasma.
Okay. First off, get off my lawn time is desktop environments using a gig of memory as standard. Strikes me as insane.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah, even in today's day,
Hey, and to what Jill just said, 97 megs to get to a console. Okay, fine. Fine. If you say so, let's take a look. Let's take a look and see what we got. Okay, now we didn't have an argument over this. We were like, what? XFCE used 1.5 gigs to get up and running. Mm-hmm. Which is ludicrous, because you see this box over here? This box over here is running XFCE 416, Debian 11, full-on DAW loaded up with, 5, 15, 23 different plugins. How much memory are we using? Survey says 1.13 gigabytes. So
yeah,
I got questions in the testing methodology here.
Yeah, testing under virtual machine. Me and Ben were talking about this earlier. I think bare hardware is a little better on this one.
I don't know. Like on the broadcasting box we have right now, the Threadripper is using about like 10 gigs with OBS and everything up and running. But typically, even when I boot one of these boxes, I'm not championing XFCE like I normally do. I'm just saying It's somewhere between like 709. Like if you get a bunch of XFCE goodies loaded in, nowhere near a gig. I don't know. It's kind of strange, but we need to continue on, Jill, because unfortunately the other ones, Mate did 1.3. Again, Mate's wicked light. Joe, you run Mate.
Yeah. I'm in fact running Mate right now, and it only came up with 1.5 gigabytes, and that's with right now I'm broadcasting. I've got lots of web browsers open. I've got Discord open, and using lots of internet pipe right now to send event.
And I'm looking through the running processes there. I'm like, I don't see anything that sticks out like as a big memory hog.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. KDE Plasma, the rating champion, 2.8 gigs.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's KDE. There's a lot of pretty in KDE. Pretty don't come cheap. Plasma shell, there it is, right up top.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh man. KDE gonna KDE. You know what you're getting. KDE doesn't try to pretend to be anything else. Then of course, Jill's favorite here, the quote unquote ugly settings, 614 megs of RAM.
Yeah, open box.
Open box. Old school window management, which, you know what, gets the job done. I always say
Absolutely.
This is, okay, we got GNOME coming in at 2.6. So what was KDE again? Hang on, we got to have the battle of 2.0. All right.
2.8, yeah.
Look at GNOME being all svelte.
Yeah, I know. It's, yeah. And it's kind of funny because with GNOME, it feels a little more cumbersome than KDE actually. But they've had so many strides with the latest versions of GNOME, with GNOME 42, that it's really impressive.
And like Plasma shell nomming up things, and GNOME shell's got nomming up things. But again, it's GNOME. It does all kind of fancy things that I don't need it to. But people like it, and that's good. Oh, yeah. There's a bunch of CPU timings. Nothing. Go ahead.
Yeah. The other thing is that he was testing using single core performance, which is, great for an X window manager, of course, like OpenBox. But, the modern desktop environments, benefit from multi-core. So in some ways, this isn't a really good fair test for them.
It's not, but it's fun to talk about.
Yeah. It definitely is fun to talk about. And not to mention that this is only run in 2D, not 3D acceleration.
Right.
So, yeah.
I looked around on like Debian 11. How many packages does it take to get KDE or Plasma up and running versus XFCE? And just to see how that correlated with memory usage. And it wasn't 1-to-1, but, XFCE takes 417 packages.
Okay,
install to get that up and running. Plasma, 960.
Yeah, 900, yes.
And to this day, Strider doesn't understand what I mean when I say the kitchen sink.
Everything but the kitchen sink.
Guess what's coming along when you install KDE in Live? That's why I'm glad it's an app image these days.
Yeah.
Interesting. Share with us, send us a note, some feedback. If you use something like, again, I question all of these results just by looking at XFCE. I don't know what was done to make it use that much memory. Yeah, especially on FreeBSD, which is even more slim in a lot of ways than Linux because it doesn't load quite as many modules. I haven't touched Net. I don't even think I've ever played around with. But NetBSD, I used to have to tangle with occasionally, but I've never ran BSD on the desktop. I'm not that. Oh, cool. Okay. I actually have. In fact, I've ran it with the Window Maker desktop. Love that experience. Professionally in my life, I had to tangle with Unix too much, and a little close to home. Give me some of that watered down Linux experience. And but yeah, I mean, I'm often running the X window managers on here doing the show. I'm usually on actually Window Maker or Flexbox. I just wanted to run Mate today because we were doing this, talking about this topic and this project. So and again, run whatever you need to. I know people really enjoy the whiz-bang and the integrations and stuff that you're going to get from KDE and GNOME. You got other people that
No.
Give me a tiling window manager. Those people are serial killers, by the way.
No,
But,
no. I love i3. Oh, even better. I like rat poison.
mhm. You can like them all you want. No. You can
You
like
might
them all
think
you
I'm
want.
crazy.
Because
You don't have to have a mouse using rat poison. That's why it's rat poison.
who uses a mouse?
Yeah.
If there's a
I'm
keyboard
mostly
shortcut,
terminal.
I
Yeah.
know it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the people who like.
Ooh, I hear that thunder.
Yeah.
There we go. That actually sounded awesome.
Thor agrees with me.
Yes.
The people who like tiling managers are not the same people that have like, all right, show me how you use that in production. Like, I
Yeah.
like them.
Yes.
I don't use them. I just open them and do that. But at the end of the day, as long as I can open up a bunch of virtual terminals, I'm good. I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm content. And it's a horrible thing because my dumb self doesn't take advantage of tabbed terminals yet. So I got 30 open on different boxes, and I'm just playing roulette sometimes. Am I even on the right machine?
You need a little Tilix action or some of the other tabbed consoles.
It's a hot mess. Like when I was working on getting the drivers compiled for this thing, man. Then I was playing around and like I learned all types of things about inserting modules into kernels and security mechanisms in place. More importantly, how to bypass them. It was nasty. Like I almost wanted to take a screenshot of shame on that because there was no rhyme. I showed that to somebody and they're like, "You're a serial killer too." I'm like, "Probably." Yeah. I don't know. Don't kill your cereal, kids. It's not good. Eat it like a normal person. So we're about to talk about a Mac Pie. Quick thanks to everybody who decides like, hey, we like what we do. We got a pretty crazy business model. If you like it, kick us 4 quarters a week, a little bit more. You can do that by heading over to linuxgamecast.com. We got a support button with all types of ways to irresponsibly give us money. Patreon being the big one. That's the way we're able to do what we do today, man.
Yes.
We got merch. We got PayPal. We got wish list. If you want to pick us up something, we got a little game where you can type something on a piece of paper and we will definitely say it. And, Bitcoin's worthless. Send it all to me. And I will convert it into studio wish list things for everyone. But most importantly, thank you to our patrons, patreon.com/Linux Gamecast. That's where we can give you a couple of bonuses for your patronage, access to our Discord. We got an extra hour-long show we do each and every week, the pre-super shows, and that's behind the scenes discussing things. And it also turns into, topical pop culture movie reviews. That's where all that stuff goes. You do get invites to game streams. But yeah, hop in our Discord if you're a Twitch sub. That's also an option. Me and Jill do a thing on Tuesdays and Fridays, our Trackmania Filthy Casual series. Yay! And that's just a good time to get around with fellow Linux nerds and try to do a little puzzle platforming with wheels. It's technically a racing game, but it's more about solving puzzles.
Yes.
And it's fun. We're definitely, when it comes out, because we'll be adding Turbo Golf Racing, but we do have a Trackmania server right now. And it's ours. It's nice and private, and we got a little channel for that. We can hang out outside of the regular general disarrays, but we also have IRC. We have live chat. We have Twitch, and that's all bridged together. If you're typing right now, completely free. Come hop in, come say hi, and we will be happy to tell you about Linux. Or maybe not. I think some people are a little hesitant in Discord sometimes. Like, can we talk about? Look at any chunk of like 30 minutes in our Discord. It goes places.
It goes everywhere. Yeah.
Everywhere. Interesting, eclectic group of people. Now, apple pie.
Ooh, yes, definitely. Yeah, that is an apple pie, literally. It is a Mac Mini. In pie form.
Here's a little bit of an aside. Johnny Ives, right?
Yeah.
They've officially parted ways with his consulting company.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe we're going to get some interesting designs from Apple. Who knows?
Something new. Yeah. That'd be cool.
Bring back the, what was it? Was the iMac the one with the...
Yeah, all the colored, fruity colors.
No, I was thinking like the all-in-one, the one with the base on it, more recent. Do you know what that was called?
The recent one, not the Mac Studio, but
It had
Uh,
the articulated monitor sticking out of the top of it.
the lamp. That was the lamp, G4 lamp all in one.
It wasn't
Called the
G4.
lamp.
This was x86.
Oh, okay. Well,
It's the one that looks like you stabbed R2D2 in the head with a monitor. It's the iMac. Might have been the G4. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. I'm not the noted Mac historian.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing's coming to mind, and I have all the Macs in my collections. Oh,
Let me see.
poor Vince. He's going to look for it. Go ahead and look
That's
for
what
it.
we're going to do.
Yeah, because I know that would drive me up the wall. It's actually driving me up the wall. So
Well, I'm looking at G4 Macs, and none of these are, hang on. It's the iMac G4.
just the regular iMac G4, just the screen. Yeah, see, that we call it the lamp. We call
You can
it the
call
lamp.
it whatever you want. That's not its name.
Yeah. Well, no, that's what they affectionately refer to it in the Apple world, and collectors refer to it as the lamp Mac. And I have one in my collection, and it has the arm that swings out. And yes, it's a G4.
iMac 15-inch desktop. So, man, 2002. Yeah,
The iLamp.
exactly. Nerds call it
Yeah.
lamps. I call it R2D2 stabbed in the head with a monitor.
Okay.
So we'll have to.
And it doesn't feel like it, Vin, but it feels like that wasn't that long ago.
That
So
was
that's why you were
2002.
thinking it was something newer. Yeah.
And when did Mac switch to x86?
Oh boy, it was just out. That was the last in the G4 line. So it was just like literally that year, like 2002, 2004, 3. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not looking at it. See, I don't care enough about that. Let's talk about. Okay, we were leading into something. If you've checked out, you're like, why is all this Macintosh discussion?
Yes, there's a reason for this. Everyone's like, why did you go on that tangent? Well, there's this awesome new project called a Macintosh Pi, and it allows running full screen versions of Apple's classic Mac OS 7, 8, and 9 with sound and internet via old school modem emulation on a Raspberry Pi, and it looks pretty cool. The guy that heads this project actually installed his in an old Mac Classic shell, so that's really, really cool. I have a Mac Classic, but mine's actually working. But this is really cool to convert it by putting a Raspberry Pi in it. And it runs without an Xorg manager and only needs a multimedia SDL2 library and from the CLI using Raspberry Pi OS Lite. That's all you need. You don't need the full Raspberry Pi OS. So installation.
You can do it with the itsy bitsy. Little Pi Zero 2.
Yeah, the little guy. Yeah. So, installation requires running a single script on a clean Raspberry Pi OS Lite and waiting about 2 hours for the packages to compile and install. And I was thinking, laughing out loud, yes, it requires 2 hours. And yeah, as Ben was saying, the entire Macintosh Pi project can run on a Raspberry Pi 0, 2W, a Raspberry Pi 2, 3, 3B, or 3B plus, but not a 4 quite yet. That'll happen in the future. And I was honestly, this project is so cool. And I was so happy to see that it uses the Macintosh 68K emulator Basilisk 2, which supports Mac OS 7 and 8 Classic. And it uses the PowerPC emulator Sheepshaver, which supports Mac OS 9. And I've actually been using personally Basilisk 2 and Sheepshaver for years to run the classic Mac OS on my Linux boxes and back in the day on my Windows boxes. So it's a very powerful emulator and it works really well. And geez, I was able to load not too long ago. I loaded up some of my old SuperCard projects from back in the 90s. So that was pretty cool.
And I think this is very important, man, because I know a lot of people, a lot of the youths are looking around, kicking around, looking for something to do. And,
Yeah.
like they want to get into retro gaming, but let's face it, man, retro gaming's too mainstream, man. All the old people are doing it, the boomers into retro gaming, all these retro gaming YouTube channels. You got to do something to stand out. You do something different. And this is an interesting way to think different, because Who's gaming on Mac OS 7 and 9? Everybody's gaming on that dust thing, man.
Yeah.
You could be the YouTube channel gaming on a emulated Mac OS 7 and 9, the dark old 7 through 9, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
And, you know, you can get this thing online with a modem emulator, so you can do that video too. What's it like surfing the web on Mac OS 7 in 2022?
Oh,
Looking forward to that. And yes, the Sheep Shaver Power PC emulator. Love that it's named that.
Yes, isn't that great?
I found it fun. So yeah, if you have, unfortunately a Raspberry Pi, you can do it with a Pico or W or anything like that. If you wanted to get something more powerful, I was going to say the Raspberry Pi 4. Unfortunately, those cost as much as a Macintosh these days.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Quite unfortunate. Might be able to wait a round. I think you can still get, because I was able to get the Pi Zero 2W.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
$5.
They're in, I think it's like $15. Yeah.
15. Yeah.
They're cheaper if you don't get the Wi-Fi on them, though, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe. Who knows? I haven't done anything with it. It's still in the bag. It's a mark of shame for me. I'm getting it. I'm getting to it, guys. Don't worry about it. Yeah. That's going to do it, Joe. We're out of time.
Okay.
We got to bounce. Before we do that, I'm going to cut on some music. We're going to roll some credits and thank all the beautiful people helping us make this.
Yeah.
Here they come in 3, 2.
Aw. Thank you so much to all our wonderful patrons. And I want to thank I'm Not Great at Chess for the follow. Thank you so much. But we got our advisors, Omegas, and Artherin is in chat right now. And we got our executive producers, Barbrandt, Scott Ims, Atomic, Mike, Empty Drummer, and our Chicago patrons, Abstraction.
You got to think,
and our
man.
Sea Monsters, Veritanuta, Justin, Frostclaw, Nubbin. I can't read them this quick, Ben.
Man. For audio listeners, they're there. Trust me. Your name's on there on your page.
Yeah.
Episode
Justin.
3, 5. And you know, Arthur just watches this because he knows it's time to go to bed when the show's over. That's it.
Yes,
when the background noise stops, he's like, all right, time to go to bed.
Yeah.
But we'll be back next week to wake you up. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone. Love you all.
Where's the button? There it is. Boom.
That was awesome, Ben. You were trying to think of the eye lamp.
The iMac.
Yeah,
G4.
G4. Yeah. And I had said that initially, but then I was thinking, well, you must be thinking of something newer. So I was trying to think of something newer that looked as cool.
Well, I could only think of like one product that looked like R2D2 being stabbed in the head with a monitor.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess so. I wasn't thinking along those lines.
Did they make more? Again, I don't keep track of Apple stuff, so I was completely at the will of everyone else. I'm like, you could tell me it's cold. I don't
said
know.
the iMac G4 initially, so that was correct.
But the iMac G4, were they all with a monitor on the top?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, so...
Oh, they made
actually,
those all the way up to 2004.
Yeah. And the iMac, they actually made a G4 all-in-one that was like the G3s at the same time.
What's the G3?
The G3 is the Hello Kitty computer, essentially.
That doesn't do anything for me.
All the Macs all-in-ones with the big CRT monitors with the
those
the
things?
colored.
Yeah.
So we call them Hello Kitty computers or Fruity Pebbles.
I call them e-machines.
Yeah.
All right. Now I am happy to report that it looks like everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Justin, that was the standard.
The G5 was the what was the last P? I guess the G5 was the last RISC.
Mm-hmm.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't have what is the XFCE screenshot application called?
I use Scrot and command line for everything. I never use the default ones. I can look.
I don't want to have to do like a meta package. I know I could probably just install the goodies.
Yeah.
XFCE4. We're doing an app search.
Yeah.
And we're doing a sudo app search because even though I know...
Because I use print screen, but...
Screen shooter.
Screenshot.
No. Screen shooter.
Oh, okay.
XFCE4 screen... I don't make these rules, man. I'm just reading
No, I know. I think there might have been a spelling error because I think it's called screenshot. But no, they're saying screenshot. But when the GUI comes up, it says screenshot.
Well, yeah, because it's a screenshot utility.
Yeah. But apps, XFCE4 screen shooter. Yeah.
All right, now I should have a screenshot. Okay. Entire screen.
Yeah. Mira, I'm looking at a screenshot right now of XFC screenshot utility, and it says screenshot.
Yeah, it does. I'm looking at it right now because I'm uploading a screenshot. Hang on.
But yeah, the package name is screen shooter.
That's what it's called.
Yeah. I've never paid attention to that before. I never noticed that it said screen shooter, but that's a cute name for the package.
No one can fault you for that because here's the thing. The typical way you install that is with the XFCE4 goodies package, which is normally for an XFCE desktop. You're going to install that. I don't have it installed on the DOF because I don't.
You don't need it. Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't know. I did an app search XFCE4 screen, and I'm like, all right. Learn how to search for packages from the terminal, kids. I see too many people like open up. Synaptic's okay if you got to do a lot of stuff, but now I want to rename it Screen Shooter.
Yeah, I know.
All right, let me hang.
Oh, yeah, so. Oh, awesome. Wonderful, Justin. Congratulations. Actually, I was going to show you guys something.
There you go, everyone. We've did it. 39 minutes, 7 seconds recording, not a single X run. I'm not saying that we've completely tamed the awesome ferocity that is the HDSPEAIO, but we made it through that. We made it through Weekly Daily Wednesdays. It didn't have a blip, which is another thing about RMEs. They're rock stable, but this is a marked improvement because I had a bunch of blips on Saturday because I had things configured differently.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and speaking of Macs, this is my iBook G3, the rare orange one, and it is running Debian Linux on it. And see my stickers I made for it. Yeah, I've had Linux on this for years, since I got it new, actually. It still has a very old version of Debian on it.
All right.
But yeah.
What is that? The iBook G3?
Yeah. The orange. I also have a purple one. But this is actually my favorite one. I love the orange.
300 megahertz of fury. How many hundreds of megabytes of RAM does it have?
This one I've got 256 in there. I had upgraded it.
Okay.
Yeah. But it works great. I just don't, I have to plug it in because the battery doesn't work anymore, of course.
Yeah.
But it's a great machine. They're really hardy machines, and it's one of my favorites in my collection, actually. They're worth quite a bit of money now.
I was looking on eBay. You can get them for a couple $100, about $300.
Yeah. Different colors are different prices. The orange ones are one of the rare.
For an orange one.
Yeah. So,
$335.
$335. Well, what's happened since the pandemic? they go up and down in price depending on how many are available. And
Supply
I
and
haven't.
demand.
Yeah, it is. It is. The last time I looked, they were about $500 to $600 for one in mint condition, with all the parts and everything.
Oh, do you have the little Apple Puck?
Yep, I got that. It's right underneath where this came from.
What is it?
It's the power supply.
I don't know. I'm asking.
Yeah, it's a power supply.
The silver puck with a cable?
Yeah.
All
It's
right.
a power supply and connector.
'Cause
Yeah,
I'm looking
just
at-
like a square. It's like a classic square laptop charger and battery plug, but it's I can grab it too.
This is what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep, that's what it came with.
Because there's the power plug.
Yeah.
Where's the square?
No, I was just comparing it to most laptop ones are square, not round. So
What is
This
it?
one's
Clip
round.
onto the back of the
Yeah.
puck? I'm just trying to figure out how it works.
Mhm.
All right.
yeah, and the cord is wound into there.
They
Let
use
me get
pretty
it.
decent plastic on that because,
Oh yeah, it hasn't yellowed either.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Better than the cube that they made that fractured.
Do, 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 do. So here's mine, and it's original.
Now, you see, now that that's next to something that I can size it, like, that makes sense, because in that picture it looked like it was like maybe the size of a small coaster. Yeah, that's got enough size to it. All right.
Yeah, it's and it's thick too.
And-
see that's where the
Connector
cord-
on the back, yeah.
Yeah,
We can all thank
then-
Apple for popularizing sparkle cables.
yeah. I like the sparkle cables, the see-through cables. I have lots of those.
They do yellow.
Yes. But yeah, this laptop, I love this laptop.
No, I mean, it's good that they got that, because when you took your headphones off, I was reminding everyone of the poorly engineered fanless cube.
Yeah, and I have, in fact, the cube is sitting right behind my monitor, which I can't reach. I have to have Steve Husband get it out for me. But yeah, that had overheating issues. Well, part of that was people's kind of stupidity, because they would put, the air vents on the top, and people would set things on it, and they would catch on fire.
And also, Apple didn't put fans in it.
Yeah, they didn't. That was not good. So you can mod it. Like I've upgraded my GPU in it, and I didn't bother putting a fan in it because I don't keep anything on top of mine, so it's fine.
It doesn't need a fan to be on a shelf.
Yeah.
Sparkle, man, everything you joke about being RGB, we found on the show, I think in the after shows, and I was joking around with Pedro about something, but I said, oh, we were talking about comforters. They make, because I typed in gaming comforter, they make RGB blankets.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they do.
Yeah. I saw. I've seen one of those on eBay. I'm like, what's this? Oh.
I mean, there's got to be we can call it Ven's Law, man. If it exists, there's probably an RGB version of it. It blinks. Man, I don't know. RGB has uses as a lighting source. I have tons of RGB in this room, but I use it because I can adjust colors. I don't like cycling rainbows or anything. That's too distracting.
Yeah, distracting when you're trying to do something.
USB cables, I've seen RGB 8-pin and 6-pin PSU cables. They make those.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
For people who like to take their nice loud PC and put it on their desk next to their head, because that makes sense to
Yeah.
That's not an age thing, because you know what? I've run into smart teenagers. They put them on
Yeah.
the floor.
Yeah, they put RGB in everything. You can get RGB NVMe drives now too.
Yes, you could.
Mm-hmm.
RGB microphones.
Yeah.
I wouldn't use them, but they make
No.
them.
After a while, all of a sudden, you start hearing that little LED flicking on and off. Something to go wrong.
RGB RAM. Yeah, that's old hat, though. I think we've just all admitted defeat. You just got to make sure you don't get RGB RAM when you're ordering RAM.
Yeah.
Unless you want it. I don't care if your box blinks. It's not in front of me, man. I don't know. I'm looking at upgrading Jackbox. Now, here's like the big thing. This new RME card's PCIe. The old one was PCI. And the only way I was able to get around using it is because just on per chance, years and years ago, because the Jackbox used to be the broadcast box.
Yeah.
Before we outgrew it. The motherboard that I got, the MSI B350, and why did I get it? Because it was the cheapest one they had, man, from MSI. It just happened to have 2 legacy PCI slots on it.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, and okay. Then I just bought the RME thing to test and see, to do a build guide and everything on Linux. I'm like, this thing's really good, but I was kind of stuck because I couldn't upgrade because you're not going to find Ryzen 4, the B550 chipsets and stuff like that with PCI legacy stuff. You wouldn't expect it. This I can swap out, so I can finally get you AMD fanboys and fangirls off my back, because Jackbox is going to be an all AMD build. It's going to have a APU with no NVIDIA in it whatsoever. It's going to be completely open source.
You can put a 5600X in it or something.
Oh, I can get integrated.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. 5600X CPU, AMD.
AMD,
Ryzen.
That's not confusing at all, is it?
Yeah. I guess I know all the numbers now and stuff because I've been building systems.
5600G. I think that's what I'm looking at. Is that the one I'm looking at?
Yeah, that's one of the best ones with integrated.
Oh, yeah. Yep. And they're cheap, too.
Yeah, under $200.
Exactly.
Yeah, right now on the Prime, they're all, several of them are on sale with the Prime deals.
Oh, be careful, kids. I forgot to mention that. Make sure you get your Camel plugin up and loaded.
Yeah, to check it. Yeah.
Prime Day is because Amazon's blown me up about this in email, because we're an Amazon affiliate, or we're in part of the program. And
that's
they're
right.
like, hey, go post this on. I don't do any of that. I'm not trying to spam anybody. What a lot of stores do, and you can just look at this, is why I say use Camel, is maybe there's other plugins that it will show you what the price.
Honey's another one.
Honey's another one. They will show you what the price was the day before they jack the price up.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Like 30%, and they offer to and there has been more than one instance where because I went looking yesterday, I was like, is there anything I need? And I ran into 2 different instances of the price going up with a steep discount and still being higher than it was on a regular price.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, the CPUs though this is kind of the lowest they've been in a while.
They're psychotically low, Joe. I mean, think about it. Like, you can get a 6-core, 12-thread CPU for under $200. Like, what?
It's fun because one of the YouTubers I watch, Random Frank P, he always does a Twitch stream, and he goes into that, and he usually has Camel or one of the other apps up and showing, and this one truly is a good deal. So, and I found some nice Corsair RAM that was on sale. That was truly, a good price and on sale. So I bought a few things, but I don't usually do Amazon Prime that much unless I see something in particular I need that's inexpensive.
I will, if it's going to be expensive, I will order it through Amazon just because of the return policy. There's no, you need to call customer support, stay online, send a couple of emails, and maybe, we'll mail you a return slip eventually, but make sure it's back at 30 days. Amazon, like, yo, this thing I brought high ticket items. This is a true story. It's broken. And I did that. I don't know why I'm making a phone. I did this through chat. They're like, no problem, fam. UPS will be at your door tomorrow with a box for it.
Yeah.
I knock. And I'm like, here's a broken thing. And they're like, thanks. Peace out. That's worth, because Amazon used to be like, if you've been around a long time, used to be get like really good deals on Amazon. Now Amazon is
I know, it's
often
all retail.
more expensive. Yeah.
Yeah. And then go back and forth, between Newegg and Amazon and a couple other sites.
Yeah. And it used to be a lot easier to buy from Newegg before Newegg's like, we're evil now too. I'm like, well, geez, all right.
Yeah, I know.
Doesn't matter. I mean, and again, I go out of my way to try to buy everything I can used, secondhand.
Yeah, Katana. So I have a 5600X with a RX 6600 GPU in it, and that's a really nice match. They run nicely together. And then I have a 5600G also in another computer for integrated, just for testing.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like about the 5600G is it takes a pretty big hit in cache size.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But again, I need something that can occasionally not be headless. And honestly, this motherboard just won't output it, but I need something that can do at least 4K 60 for a basic display, because Reaper does not fit on that. Reaper window doesn't fit on 1080p. I've tried. Doesn't fit nicely at 1440p either, which is another thing. It's like, maybe I could get away with doing 1440.
That's one of the, you need dedicated.
I need 3840 by 2160 to get all my stuff on one screen. And the 56, that's an incredible deal. And, especially if you were building a box for somebody just doing basic stuff, and you can always upgrade later, right? You can put a video card in it.
Absolutely. Yeah, Justin, good going. Yeah, the 5600, that number seems to be one of the most popular because it's so stable and everybody's been using it. So it's like, it's a really good processor, series of processors, the 5000 series.
Things are, even as a teenager, the first CPU I bought with my own hard-earned money, because I didn't grow up with an allowance. I wanted money. I had to go make it somehow. Was a K6-2.
Oh, yeah. I have a couple of those and a K6-3.
I think it was I had a K5, but I didn't buy it. I got that for a present, but I wanted to upgrade it to a K6-2. I think it was I don't know if it was 400 megahertz or not, but the point being is that was an extremely value-priced processor, because, Intel was the Intel of its day back then. You paid whatever Intel put on this sticker. You didn't really have a choice. And the K6-2 was a viable thing, because your other option was Cyrix, and Cyrix was like 80% Intel compatible. It was RB Dragons.
I know.
I had a friend. I knew not to buy Cyrix because he went the budget route with that, and was just random. He just lived with random crashes and stuff like that, because it wasn't a perfect match on x86. But I think it was 400 pounds after everything. And that was a value, like wicked cheap. And just to think now that you can get 12 cores, 6 core, 12 thread with a GPU in it, like under $200 with shipping. Poof. Oh, poor little bots.
Yeah.
They try so hard. At least they figured out.
Not long for this world.
Oh, man. Buy followers. Don't buy followers, kids. It looks bad, and it's easy to spot. K6 too. Oh, man. What is that? K5? K2? K3?
Exterminate?
This is the problem with humanity, man. We won't even leave mountains alone. No wonder we can't develop as a society. Perfectly good mountain just chilling out, minding its own business. What do? We go stab it.
Yeah.
And leave our trash on it. Then do a victory lap when we're done stabbing it. I don't want to look up when the new Doctor Who is coming because this is going to make me depressed. And there's also the BBC. And they'd be like, yeah, a new series coming. When? I don't know, 2031. Jeez.
Yeah, I know. I haven't looked either recently. So I'm watching so much other stuff right now, just trying to catch up on things.
I got caught up on Strange New Worlds. I saw the...
oh, good.
Last episode, your boy shows up.
Yes, I have been seeing it all over the online, trying not to get spoilers.
Let me know when you watch that and share your thoughts and opinions on that.
Okay, cool.
I power watched the last 2 episodes, so I finished up.
Okay.
Like, all right. Better than Discovery, I'll say that. And you know what? I didn't dislike the first series of Discovery because they were doing something new. They were kind of like, "Oh, this is weird," Spore Drive and all that. Then I don't know. I mean, I watched like the second series and most of the third, and just kind of trailed off. But it also fell victim to there's so much good stuff to watch right now.
Yeah.
In order to get my attention.
Absolutely. Oh, then I've been watching Mrs. Marvel, and it's amazing on Disney Disney Plus. It's so well done. It's funny because I do like a lot of some of the Marvel movies, but haven't been so interested in watching the series as much.
Well, Jill, I mean, it is
because there's so much
to
out
your
there.
demographic, young adults.
Yeah. Actually, but Mrs. Marvel is unique and different, and I think that's what I love about it. It's basically she's a fan of the Marvel universe, and all of a sudden she happens to get this power, and it's the cinematography is just absolutely freaking beautiful, combined with the animation they do on all the buildings. It's just, and the characters are excellent, and in a lot of ways, after the first couple episodes, I guess I said I feel like I'm watching episodes of Deep Space Nine, because it has that level of character development and the story arc.
Well, you see, if you finish that with Captain Sisko shows up, I'm like, yeah, I'll watch it now.
Well, here's the thing: is it
Avery
has
Brooks.
Yeah, it what it has is it's a fantasy, based off of historical happenings.
It's interesting how they did it. I know the backstory and how it relates to the comic book, the original series. And what's
exactly
changed out from that.
I knew about the comic, but I had never read it. And everyone who has watched the series, they have freaking nailed it. So
they've taken some liberties.
With
here's what I'll say about it is I'll have time to watch it. What the good reviews that I've heard from people that I know personally have said, it's a really. They're like, all right, it's a kid's show. Okay, yeah, it is a kid's show, but it's really good for a kid's show.
Yeah. No, it's. I guess that's what it is. It has some elements of like the Sarah Jane Adventures, that the Doctor Who series that I love so much. Because yes, it is catered more. I'd say young adult. It's not, really young kids, but I'd say like pre-teenager and teenager.
No, show this to your toddlers. They won't understand. No.
But it's funny because the first episode, it has this really magical element to it. And at first you think it's going to be kind of a typical story, and it turns out different. And that's what I like about it. It's definitely unique. She's not a normal superhero. And what's also awesome is it's one of the few superhero series, in the Marvel universe and DC that I have watched, where they go through what she's contemplating the pros and cons of, wow, I'm a superhero, and now it's going to affect me and my life and people around me. So she goes heavily through that exploration, which a lot of the superhero movies don't do. They just say, oh, I have this power now and I have that power. There's not this internal psychological journey of how this is happening and why this is happening. So that part is really neat.
That makes sense. I mean, my show would be a lot like, I got superpowers and be like, better start running.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you a start. It would be, no, I mean,
Yeah.
that has gained a lot of traction.
Mm-hmm.
I
Like
might,
I've watched some of the other Marvel shows and I've loved them, but they're not as interesting to me, or they seem more typical than,
there's things like,
like
what
Doctor
was it?
Strange and stuff. It's all, I guess, because those are known characters and everything. But I love, like, for instance, of the Marvel movies, my favorite one so far has been Ant-Man. I love that.
I like the
universe.
first one.
Yeah. The second one, yeah, a little, not as
I mean,
much. But the
I didn't
first
know
one-
much. I mean, I knew what Ant-Man was, but
Yeah.
watching that, I was like, that was a lot better than I expected it to be. But,
Yeah.
things like the Hawkeye series, I didn't watch any of that. Like, I don't care. You can get superheroed out. I've warned about this, even with Marvel stuff, because I went through this with, I hope you remember, because it was only a couple of years back, when there was 3,500 Marvel shows on Netflix. I couldn't even keep track of them all, between Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and
Oh, yeah. There's so many. You can't even watch them all.
what
You don't
was
have
that
time to watch them
horrible
all.
Iron Fist, or whatever it was called. I don't.
Yeah, Iron Man.
Not Iron Man, no.
Oh, okay.
Luke Cage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't watch any of that.
I watched it, but I got burnt out on it. I quit watching a lot of it. I'm like, all right, I'm kind of superheroed out right now.
Yeah. And
Which,
I guess that's, yeah, I feel the same way. I've been superheroed out until this one came along. It's like, this is not the normal superhero kind of series.
We were, I think, I don't know if we brought it up. Yeah, I think we mentioned it last night when we were talking around. I'm looking forward to when they release the new part of the David Tennant and what's his name? Bad Omens, Good Omens.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a good show. Yeah.
They, they did the first little mini thing based off the source material, and they're going to deviate and come up with a part. Like, that was a delightful. I enjoyed that.
Yeah. Very good show. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to keep track of the superhero things going on.
I know. It's just.
I watched Doctor Strange. I thought Doctor Strange was okay.
Yeah. I need to
but-
watch it more because I know I would like that more probably if I watched it more, but.
I watched the first. I mean, the reason I watched the first one was because it had a Benadryl cucumber patch in it.
Yeah,
And,
cucumber patch. Yeah.
I didn't watch it when it originally aired, but this Sherlock series on the BBC was just amazing.
Oh yeah, the X-Men movies. All those are great too. Katana. Yeah, really good deep characters. Yeah. Oh, Reacher. Yeah.
I've read a couple of Reacher novels, and I refuse to watch the Tom Cruise movie as Reacher because that doesn't work in my head at all. Like, that would be like, hey, we're making a new Iron Man movie. Who's going to be Iron Man? A squirrel.
Yeah.
What? Like, oh, no, you can look around it. I'm like, no, you can't. You can't. There's no part of your brain that's ever going to accept Tom Cruise as Reacher if you're remotely familiar.
With the
Yeah. Nothing against that crazy Tom Cruise, but that was bad casting. Maybe the TV series would be good. There's not much in the way of TV series I'm really keeping track of outside of
Star Trek.
yeah, binge watch it. I'm always a couple of weeks behind. Oh,
And it is so nice to be able to do that. Just sit down and binge watch a show because you feel more engaged. You don't have as many interruptions. It's just no commercials. It's just nice.
true, but no one wants to watch things with me because I do the most unthinkable thing is I will fast forward through boring stuff. Like, I watch like because if you show me like, oh, look, we're doing an establishing shot out. Don't need to see that. Let's get back to the dialogue.
Yeah.
And that would drive people crazy, especially with like, Star Trek. There's a lot of pretty stuff to see. And I'm like, I can see it. It's going fast.
Yeah. Oh, Mr. Robot. I love Mr. Robot.
I never got into that. Here's the cool thing though, is I have all of that to watch. I know it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Because I only watched like 4, maybe 5 episodes of the first series, and I know it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's like I envy people that have never watched Breaking Bad. I'm like, you
looked
don't
at
know.
your good
You
time.
got a gift.
Yeah.
You got a
I
gift, whatever you
haven't
want to
yet,
go unwrap
actually.
it.
Yeah, I haven't yet, so that's one I need to.
I didn't expect it. I didn't watch Breaking Bad. Was on for 4 series. And just on a whim, because Netflix wouldn't shut up one day. And I'm like, fine, you know what? I'll watch the first episode. And that way, I was going to skip through the first episode and give it a negative. I don't know if we had thumb down on our stars or whatever we had back and then. And I ended up over the next week, like I was caught up to what was currently airing. I'm like, didn't expect that. Yeah, that was an interesting show. And that's a show that's going to hold up because it wasn't even set in modern day. It was set like a decade before modern day. Everybody's using flip phones and all that.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, there's so much good stuff now. That's what's so awesome. One of the things that these streaming services have brought to us is we have more variety of shows on not just ABC, NBC, and CBS anymore. It's nice.
Man, like Beebs 1 through 3 and 4. I think 4. I don't guess 4 is still around. But the problem is my streaming wheel gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
I know. It's like I might as well just bought cable. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm happy I'm not in the cable life anymore. I like streaming things on demand.
Even when I had terrestrial, I always had satellite just for the selection. I don't know where cable's at. I have no idea. But I was never a fan. I bought a replay TV the second it came out. Then I later bought a TV after that. Because I think probably 35 minutes after I bought my replay, they went bankrupt. And, but yeah, I've always been a fan of just being able to record pot. And it wasn't even recording back in the day for me, even though you could just set it to record. DVR. It was just pause it. Like I'm watching something like, boop, I need to get up and go do something because I don't like sitting down for a long amount of time. And I was just missing chunks of things. So being able to stream and just having it all there, which is just fantastic. There's no urgency to watch anything, which means I don't watch a lot of stuff these days.
Yeah, that's the thing is now that we can watch it whenever we want, sometimes it gets forgotten. And like when it was, you had to be, sit in front of the TV at 8 o'clock,
it was an event.
Yeah. And everyone watched it together,
There's no must-see thing anymore. And like, I get around to watch it, or have you watched? I'm like, well, maybe I can go watch it later, which you probably can. You probably can.
Yeah, and most of my watching is YouTube. So all the shows and podcasts, mostly all tech. And
I used to do mostly YouTube. These days,
Twitch.
Twitch is, and watching is too strong a word. It's just I have a couple of people that provide reliable background noise in the house.
Yeah.
And it's just that thing of why I'm working on other projects. I like to have that noise of other people doing stuff. I don't know why.
I do too.
I don't like silence.
It's funny because I didn't until I got older.
I've never liked just complete silence. I'm like, I
used to not be able to focus unless I had no sound. I had to have quiet. And now it's like I need something in the background.
My brain's not happy unless it's focused on like 2 or 3 different things. Kind of the opposite. Like if I'm just focused on one thing, and I'm like, I need to be doing something else too. And maybe I can listen to this. And while I'm watching that, and while I'm working on it, like, there we go. All right. That's my zone. All right. Everyone, we got to go. I got to go. We did it.
Yay.
Twitch. We made it through. Hopefully.
Yeah.
I will be able to put a bow on some of the technical documentation for this overpriced sound card. And, we'll get that up because this is one of those wins that you can roll out to your buddies online. And like, you can't do audio stuff on Linux. Like, this works. Not that you're going to buy one, but you could. It's always nice to have little Halo products like that,
Yeah. Aw, thank you, Justin. Thank you, Darren and Katana.
All right. We'll see you Friday?
Yeah, Friday. You'll see me. And then tomorrow we can watch Jordan.
Yeah. Jordan will be doing his thing. I think he's going to be playing his thing. I don't know the name of the game he's playing. but it's one of those click and stab adventure games, and he's
Oh,
named,
yeah.
most of his party like from Chat Realm and Discord.
Yes. Yeah, he does that. I've been in
Watch
so
out.
many of his games.
Watch out.
I'm usually a mage or a magician or something.
I'm a wizard.
Yes, that
tried
works
to-
perfect for you.
He tried to make me a mage. I said, what do you want to be, Vin? I'm
Yeah.
like, I want to be a wizard. And he heads over to mage. I'm like, I didn't say mage. I know why he's going to mage. He was trying to min-max his character group. I'm like,
Yeah.
So I'm a little tiny wizard guy.
Oh.
Super small, about 0.5 meters. All right. Cool, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Love you all.